So, you've probably seen these Marbleways videos with all countries of the world competing. There's one thing I don't understand about these videos. For example, this marble. Or this one. Is it Hungary? Is it Italy? We can't be sure. Or this one. Is it France? Is it the Netherlands? We can't tell, right? Well, I did some extensive research because, wouldn't it be super useful if every country had a circular symbol that was designed to be easily differentiated from a far distance? Wouldn't that be really great, right? Well, guess what? There is something called military air roundels, and they are especially designed for exactly that. So what are military air roundels? In war, pilots should know if the plane they are seeing somewhere in the sky is an enemy or a friend. So these symbols are designed to be easily distinguishable from a far distance. There are some problems with them as well, but I'm a bit puzzled why no popular video uses them. So I thought I'd just make my own series out of this. So in each episode, the plan is that it will take place in the country that has lost last time. So the Marbleways will be kind of themed around that country. In the first episode, it will take place in Antarctica to make it neutral that, because no country has lost yet. Yeah, I hope you stay tuned for the first episodes, which will be coming in the next weeks. And you see the video is quite longer from this point on, and the reason is that there are still some things and issues about these that I have to discuss. So the first problem is that some symbols are not circular, so they shouldn't roll, right? But yeah, as you can see, they can roll. They have a circular base, even though some of them are stars and triangles. They can roll, definitely, trust me that. Another issue is that some roundels are very similar. I go into detail about that right now. Starting off with Argentina, El Salvador, and Greece. These three countries have the same combinations of colors, but the shades are a lot different, so no problem there. Then Belize and Laos, they only have similar flags, but also their air roundels are quite similar. Yeah, the difference is that Belize's white circle is a lot more prominent on the flag and also on the air roundel than the one of Laos. Moving on to these five, most of them are inspired by the air roundel of the UK, which is quite iconic, and their former colonies, New Zealand, Canada, and Australia, all chose to basically copy the design of the UK and put their own animal onto it. And yeah, I mean, the symbol is different, so it's different enough in my opinion. For Costa Rica, I chose to make it a little bit spicy, and yeah, it looks like this. So you can easily distinguish it from the United Kingdom from afar as well. Hey, stay here. The next two are Bolivia and Mali, which are basically the same. Yeah, but like this, I try to make it easily distinguishable. Bolivia's green is a lot darker, so that's the difference, I guess. Then here's Bulgaria and the Maldives. Bulgaria has quite a thick white border, so I made it especially prominent here. So yeah, I guess that makes it possible to differentiate between the two. Moving on to these four, I mean, those two are quite different from those two, but yeah, we have the same problem here as with Bolivia and Mali. Yeah, they're just really similar. Burundi's green is really like light, and so I decided to make it even neon. So yeah, you'll know what marble you're looking at. Then we have these five. Most of them are Arabic countries with similar flags as well. Egypt has no star, Yemen has one, Syria has two, Sudan has a triangle. Well, in Trinidad and Tobago, they also have a flag with these colors, and they have their national bird on the air roundel to differentiate them from Egypt. Then these last two are here. Actually, Palestine doesn't have any official air roundel, so I just decided to use the one of Jordan and remove the star. Yeah, so these two look quite similar as well. The third issue is that some countries actually use the same air roundel on their planes because they don't fight with each other very often, or because they are just very far away from each other, I guess. So I had to change some air bundles from some specific countries, and I'll talk about that now. The Soviet Union used to have like this red star with the white border you see right here as a symbol on the planes, and some countries never really stopped using them. Tajikistan never stopped using this red star. Belarus actually still uses the red star as well. In these cases where two countries had the same symbol, I just basically decided which one is older, and then I gave the older one, and I gave the country who had their air bundle for longer their true symbol. And Belarus actually changed their symbol for a slight amount of time to their flag they had in the exact same time as well. So yeah, I decided to put that in exchange for this. Oh shoot. Then we have these few countries here. I mean, you don't see it anymore, but actually all of these four have this air bundle. And the only reason that you don't see it here is because I already changed them. So I kept two, because Bolivia and Mali are the two oldest as well, but also because those two never had any different symbol. Ghana used to have this one in the 60s with the white instead of the yellow, also on the flag actually. And yeah, because the air bundle of the Congo was quite recent, I guess I just chose to use their flag, because for no other country with a similar flag I had to use the flag, so it's fine. Yeah, but now there's the other problem that Burundi and Italy have a similar one to Ghana. But I decided then, okay, Italy's white is quite thin, which is actually the reason why it's so thin is because Italy wanted to have a different air bundle than any African country like Burundi. So yeah, Ghana's green is quite dark, Burundi's green is quite light, so I decided to keep it that way. Then we have Cyprus and Argentina. Cyprus didn't have an air force for that long, so they kind of used different symbols. They used their flag on the planes quite often, and also the same air bundle as Argentina, which is similar to the one of Greece. So I decided to just put the one they also used their flag into this marble race. Then we have Romania and Chad. Those two countries already have the same flag, so I already knew that there would be issues about that. But Romania adopted their current design, which is the one of Chad, the one Chad still uses, just after the Cold War. So I decided to give Chad the one, to award Chad the true air bundle. Although Romania actually used their air bundle like before the Cold War at some time, and it's actually way older than the one of Chad. But the reason is that Chad never had any other air bundle in their history, so I had to use it. I had no choice. Okay. Yeah, this one is pretty bad. Turkey changed their air bundle in the 70s from this to that, but Peru already had it since the 20s, since airplanes were used in war, and I don't know. So I decided to use the old one of Turkey instead, which was this square thing. If you have a better solution, just write it in the comments, but yeah, that's what I did. How many to go? A few. Okay. Then we have Yemen and Egypt. Actually, Yemen has the same as Egypt because their flag nowadays doesn't hold the star anymore. But northern Yemen used to have a flag with a green star on it, so also their air bundle had a green star on it. And I thought, yeah, why not? No other country has just one green star on the air bundle, so I decided that's the best alternative. Yeah, the last ones are France and Paraguay. Both of these countries had their air bundle for a really long amount of time. Paraguay is since the 20s, and France similar, but they changed it in between and stuff. But I thought it would be kind of stupid to give the most iconic air bundle of them all away to Paraguay. So what I did instead is I made the blue of France like really light, so you can easily differentiate between the two. I don't know, I hope some of you can come up with a better solution, because it's really not that great. But yeah, that's it for now. I hope you will be able to differentiate between the two. That's my solution for now. It's not perfect, I know. So now to the controversial part. There's another issue with countries in general competing against each other. Because, I mean, what even is a country? How do you define which country can take place in this marble race and which ones can't? So in this Marble Ways, 199 countries are competing. But you may ask, well, which ones? And how did you decide that? And because, of course, that is a very controversial question, I put 3 rules every country that participates here has to fulfill to be participating. If one is not fulfilled, the country cannot participate. So, first rule is the country needs to control a defined territory. Obviously, right? Without that, it's not really a country. Second, the country needs to hold the executive power over its citizens. If the territory is defined as the whole Earth, but it's not enforced, this control, then it's not real. Because of that, I had to put this rule. And the third one, which actually disqualifies most of the countries who don't participate here, is that the country needs to be recognized by a significant amount of nations. And why do I put this here? Well, it is because there would be very many de facto independent rebel groups and stuff, many of which don't even have flags, many of which you have never heard about probably. So I just have to kind of limit the amount of countries participating. Well, so which countries participate? Well, of course, all 193 full UN member states participate in this Marble Ways. But there are also 6 more, and I'll explain now why these 6 participate and who these are. So we have Palestine at first. It definitely has a territory, and it has at least partial control over it. Also over the citizens living there, of course. Then Palestine is recognized as an independent state by 115 NATO members, under which are China, Russia, India, and Brazil. So pretty significant countries, economically speaking. That's why Palestine is included. Vatican City, it's not an UN member actually, but it is recognized by all countries. It has a territory and it has control over the territory and the people living there. So yeah, definitely Vatican City will take place in this Marble Ways. Then we have Taiwan, which is, well, it has a territory, it has control over it, definitely. About the recognition by other countries, it's quite hard to define that. Because of the One China policy, many countries aren't allowed by China to recognize Taiwan. But actually, many countries who don't officially recognize Taiwan still have diplomatic relations to the island. So, well, if you have diplomatic relations to a country that you don't recognize, you kind of recognize it, I would say. That's why Taiwan is only recognized by 13 countries, but it has diplomatic relations to 58 other countries, under which are Russia, the United States, India, and the European Union, and that's why Taiwan is included. Then we have Kosovo, very controversial country, but it has a defined territory, it definitely has control over it, and it is recognized by 118 NATO members, not NATO members, UN members, and under which are the United States of America, Germany, France, and yeah, that's it. The majority of UN members recognizes Kosovo, so it's here, if you like it or not. These 2, yeah, you might not know about these. These are generally recognized as part of New Zealand, but the independence of those is classified the same way as the independence of Palau or the Federated States of Micronesia towards the United States. They have an agreement with New Zealand that they are protected by them, but they are basically independent. What I'm saying is that they are part of many UN organizations. They have seats there, not in all, of course. Yeah, they're not full NATO member states, but in many gremiums of the UN, they have a seat and they have a say in there as well. Also, of course, because they're independent, they also hold control over the citizens living there, and they definitely have a defined territory. No one questioning that. But about the recognition, the Cook Islands have diplomatic relations to 52 other UN members, under which are China, India, Germany, Brazil, and France. Pretty significant countries, so definitely part of this ways. Then we have Niue, I don't know how it's pronounced exactly, but it's only recognized by 21 UN members. But China, India, the European Union, France, and even recently the United States have announced that they are planning to recognize Niue as an independent nation. And yeah, even though 21 is by far not the majority of UN members, very significant, economically significant countries recognize it as an independent nation, and that's why it's here. So now we come to the countries which haven't made the cut, and I'll explain why not. Here's just a few of them. I know there are way more contenders. Yeah, but let's start right here. Transnistria isn't recognized by any country. Out. South Ossetia is recognized by 5 countries, only one of which is important to Russia. Not in the ways. Somaliland isn't here as well. Zero countries of the UN recognizing it. Zarawi, you may know it as Western Sahara, is actually recognized by 36 other countries, but almost none of them is an economic powerhouse worldwide, and that's why they're not included, sadly. But they're definitely one which who were the closest to be participating in that. Then we have Northern Cyprus, which is only recognized by Turkey, so that's a no. Then this Armenian populated state inside of Azerbaijan, which isn't recognized by any UN member, not even by Armenia. Of course, it doesn't participate here. Then we have Abkhazia, which is also recognized by just 5 other UN members, including Russia again. So yeah, it didn't make the cut as well. Then we have this, country in quotation marks, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. It has existed since the Middle Ages, basically. And it's actually recognized by 112 UN members, including Russia, Germany, and Brazil. So it definitely is recognized by a lot of countries as an entity, at least. The only problem is that the Sovereign Military Order of Malta doesn't control any territory anymore since 1815 or something. So yeah, that disqualifies it as a participant in this Marble Ways. At the end of the video, I'd like to say thank you for watching until the end, and I hope you will watch future episodes of this series. If you have any recommendations, roundels I should change, if I made any mistakes, for example, just recommend them and put a source if possible, and maybe I'll change it then. And yeah, until I guess 1 week or something, until the first episode in Antarctica. Stay tuned and bye.